For over 3 weeks, Iran has been engulfed in massive protests. Over 2,500 people have died as the regime brutally cracks down on protesters. Millions of Iranians in 88 cities across 27 provinces have taken to the streets, demanding the fall of the Islamic Republic. Well, the uprising is unprecedented in scale, similar to the 1979 revolution itself. Economic collapse has pushed ordinary Iranians to their breaking point. But one thing which is important to highlight here is that the streets are silent in the poorest regions of Iran, like Kurdistan, Balochistan and South Azerbaijan, which is home to the ethnic minorities in the Islamic Republic. The same ethnic minorities who suffer the most remain largely absent from this historic rebellion. But the question is, why? Why are the most affected remain largely absent from the uprising that will perhaps define the future of common Iranians for the decades to come? Today we will tell you why the absence of ethnic minorities in Iran is not random. It reflects a bitter political reality that threatens to undermine the entire protest movement. But first, let's begin by understanding who are Iran's ethnic minorities. Iran is not a homogeneous nation. Kurds, Baloch, Arabs and Azerbaijanians make up roughly 40% of the total population. These communities are among the most oppressed in Iran. Poverty rates in Balochistan and Kurdistan far exceed those in Persian-dominated areas. Also, unemployment in this region hits 60% in certain places. Well, the regime has systematically extracted natural wealth, including oil, copper, gold, rare minerals worth billions of dollars from these regions while leaving local population in deep poverty. So by every logical measure, ethnic minorities should be leading the charge against Tehran. Yet, they are absent from the street protests. Well, the reason is straightforward. Reza Pahlavi has become the face of the protest movement. Pahlavi is the exiled son of Iran's last Shah. He lived in the United States and has been broadcasting video messages to protesters calling for nightly demonstrations and promising to return and establish a secular democracy. Major Western media outlets have embraced him as the symbol of revolution. Protesters chant his name in the streets. For many Iranians, he represents the hope for a new Iran. But for ethnic minorities, Pahlavi represents something very different and terrifying. Pahlavi's father, Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, ruled Iran from 1941 to 1979. During his rule, he brutally suppressed ethnic minorities. Kurds, Baloch, Arabs, Azerbaijanians were forbidden from studying in their own language. In fact, their cultures were erased from schools and public life. Their natural resources were stolen without any benefit to the local communities. Well, that trauma is still fresh in the memories of these communities. Their parents and grandparents lived under Pahlavi rule and experienced firsthand what it meant to be an ethnic minority in a Persian-dominated state. Now, making matters worse, the Western media supporting Pahlavi has shown little sympathy for ethnic minorities' demand. In fact, certain Kurdish journalists have warned that Pahlavi is trying to divert from the course of the protest and turn them into personal publicity, with little regard for minority rights. Meanwhile, the regime continues to brutalize ethnic regions with brutality. As per reports, at least 550 Baloch protesters were arrested in a single week. In fact, Kurds have also borne a significant casualty toll of the documented deaths despite representing a smaller share of overall participation in protests. Well, the bitter irony is that this movement represents a historic opportunity. The regime is weakened, its military was devastated by Israeli strikes in June, its economy is collapsing, and with unified support from all ethnic groups, this could be the revolution that finally brings down the Khamenei order. Instead, the movement remains fractured. Ethnic minorities, burned by history and suspicion of Pahlavi's intentions are watching from sidelines rather than joining the fight. Without them, seems like the revolution is incomplete in Iran.